Happy Easter Monday, everyone. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brand. As always, I have the ladies. Hi, ladies.
Good morning. Happy Easter.
Amazing.
Thank you. How are you doing, Topsy?
I'm very good. Easter was cartoon watching, cooking,
man. Talk about it.
Yes, I was just in the cooking mood, you know. I had like, someone came for Omugo in Lagos and brought yam and gari for us, so I dashed out the gari and kept the yam. I was like, oh, yam, steamed veggie, eggs, egg sauce. My mother said no. My children said they wanted fish sauce. I said, okay, I did fish sauce, egg sauce, veggie, and I'm like, I talk about you alone. Yeah, you must really be, whatever is sweeting you, better play that record every time. So that was Saturday, and then we watched Coco, a cartoon. The kids watched it. It was fun.
Oh my God, you just watched Coco?
Yeah.
That movie is so deep.
Yes, it is.
You gotta watch it.
Yes.
And I watch it with my family. It's a very, very deep movie.
And it's animation.
And it's animation and it's amazing. You gotta watch it.
Okay.
Very, very deep
Very
stuff.
interesting.
You can learn so many lessons
Yes,
from Coco.
very.
So many lessons. A whole lot.
Forgiveness, bonding, family, letting things go. It was really interesting. Yesterday was Spider-Man into the verse, and then we had rice salad. I was just cooking. This Easter is cooking Easter. I'm feeling myself.
You don't need
mommy
the stuff I brought
duty.
for you in the car.
No, I need this, Morayo.
You've been cooking all weekend. You don't need that
No,
stuff.
that's why I'm not going to cook today. Then the kids are in my mom's place. They also experienced the issue. They were supposed to come and pick them up since Wednesday, but my mom said that if for any reason anybody goes out, you'll be coming back home 11, 12 midnight, so she couldn't leave until the weekend, but we're hoping things will get better.
Actually, it was free jump. My YK sent us some free jump. Sent me, actually. She didn't send us.
I heard it was us.
No. She said me. She said Mariah. It's because I'm the one I always ask for free jump.
Mariah was the last.
I always ask for free jump every year. Nobody asks. So because when they bring it, and because she's very generous, everybody start bringing their plates. And I'm like, listen, I am the one that requests for free jump. Anyway, she sent to me, and I called you guys. You said you wanted to stay. So unfortunately, you didn't come on time.
Yes, I've never.
You went around, sorry. Nima didn't want, and you said you wanted, so I kept for you. You, if she gives you some, maybe you can take some.
But you're not keto compliance with it.
I don't even know what
It has sugar in it.
Never
It's
seen
made out
it. I
of
would like
beans.
to.
You'll see
No,
it.
I've heard it about it. I want to see
I'll
it.
show you. I'll show you.
Okay.
I didn't bring for you because you didn't come on Friday, so sorry. You're not in the equation.
I'll share my one spoon with you.
Really good. Free jump is amazing in
Yes,
Easter.
it is.
It's amazing. And my aunt,
Can you eat it at any other time? Does it have to be Easter?
It's usually an Easter meal, actually, but you can eat it any other time. Anyway, how you doing?
Fine. For us, Easter wasn't so great. Our daddy, you know how Yoruba people see their husbands, their daddy. Serious. Our daddy was out of town. Oh, God. So we're waiting today, and then we'll celebrate it properly
that's
as a
nice.
family. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yes.
You just did our daddy.
Our daddy.
I think it comes from
Church.
church. I don't think so. The helps. The helps was our daddy is before you know it, the whole house calling our
But
daddy.
like the Igbos, I think it's a traditional
don't
thing of
say-
respect. It's a daddy.
Daddy,
That's,
yes.
daddy.
Everybody says daddy.
Yeah,
to the
daddy.
husband.
Daddy.
Not
My-
me. No, I mean, Igbos tend to be more romantic. You hear something came, moon came, sun came, honey, darling. Yes.
No, people are modern. Oni, we used to hear Oni.
Because my help that started this daddy thing, we used to be, the former helps used to say, uncle, and I said, wait, I just call him Brown. But now there's this, the Yoruba one is now saying, I want daddy, nipe, I want daddy, before you know it. And
Everybody say.
before you know it.
So once I call Diobodo Ibo, the next thing is, what do you want? What do you want?
So there are some names
that
that
name
connotes.
is for
Say
something.
we say nine.
Nine.
Yeah.
Okay, how you
Quite
doing?
romantic.
Easter for me was just there. We were in my mom's house, so we left on Saturday. We were held up in traffic for a long time. Before we got home, I was exhausted. Thank God I had made stew and something the other week, so it was still in the freezer. I didn't do any special cooking. We just went to church. We spent almost all...
You should know me, I don't like cooking. I'm
Yeah,
not a
I don't know
cooking
what
person,
happened to
so,
you.
Yeah.
I have
So we just-
accepted
You know?
that I'm not a cook. I mean, no, as a Nigerian woman, you have to always try to say, listen, I want to cook for my family. It ain't happening. I got people in the house to cook.
But you cook sometimes. I remember
I cook when I
doing
feel like,
one
yes.
banana thing on...
Yeah, I can. I like the mere kind of cooking, but unfortunately, the people in my house they
want
eat the mere
local.
and they don't want local. They'll finish my mere from you. They don't have to be asking for a hair. So, balamaja, and I'm going. We just have lunch.
Like, that was appetizer.
And I'm wondering. So I spent all this time making this nice mere
and then you
they
still
still
want
want
swallow.
swallow. And I'm wondering, I'm not gonna do it
swallow.
twice. You gotta choose one. So when I'm in the mood, I do my own. But when my help then helps with the other stuff. But yeah,
Okay.
anything else happening for this weekend for today?
But today,
I'm thinking of taking my kids somewhere.
Okay.
Maybe High Impact or something. It'd be
We
nice,
could do the movies later.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I'd like to go somewhere.
Just chill.
Just
Yeah,
tired of
holiday
the
for us to do with our kids.
Today?
I mean, we have 2 ideas.
Yeah, we've been talking.
We're thinking of going to this you say it's pronounced Lakwe resort. It's really nice. You get to like rent an apartment, stay there for the weekend. It's beautiful, fresh air. Or we do a road trip to Accra.
I like that one.
But without the kids, because it's like 9 hours.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll figure.
Nice. I like the Accra.
Yeah.
I love road trips. I really
We have to
I
plan
will eat everything on the road. The gala, the chips, everything. I just buy it. I don't know.
But that's not convenient for her now because of the
No, we'll work it out. We'll see.
Baby will be all right. You see, I'm at that point where, you know what, nobody can kill me.
You can't kill yourself.
I can't kill myself.
Enjoy this life.
I'm enjoying this life. Let's go on a break. It's Easter Monday. We hope you're having fun as much as we are. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll look at the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right. Let's just start with The Nation. Tinubu defends his role in assembly leadership battle. I'm backing Buhari's choice to stop hijack of Senate and the House. Hundreds killed in Sri Lanka Easter attacks.
So sad.
24.39 trillion naira debt. Nigeria not in debt crisis, says federal government. Senate leadership, APC governors step in. Unity, love take front seat at Easter. I'm a Nigerian by birth, Atiku replies APC. Man kills wife for planning to remarry.
Yes,
I read that story.
Yes,
sad.
Yes, a 30-year-old man, his name is Uwani
Danjuma.
Right. Said he killed his wife because when he was ill, the wife said that if he dies, if he happens to die, that she would remarry. So he took his time, got better, and then used cutlass one of the days she was sleeping and killed her. So he's in
Allah will send her to hell. Because how can she make that kind of
that words are
statement?
strong. Yes, you don't just say that you would remarry.
Seriously?
Yeah, so he's in, they are likely going to charge him to court for that's murder, of course.
Likely.
Yeah,
They will
so
charge him to
Tinubu
court.
defends his role in assembly leadership. Who has that story?
So his press, his media aide, Tunde Rahman, released a statement from former Senator Bola Tinubu saying that he's not, people shouldn't try to bring division into where he stands. He stands with the party and he stands in support of the president, that they wouldn't let, there is no action a person can take to constitute a political guarantee to what may come in 4 years' time. So nobody should make it look like whatever we're doing, whatever they are doing now will set the pace for what will happen in the next 4 years. What they want is, they don't want anybody to hijack the National Assembly, and they are supporting the president. So he is not against the president, he is not against National Assembly, he's just in support of what is going on there.
OPEC is saying that Dangote refinery will boost world refining capacity. Who has that story?
Yeah, I do. You know, I have the Dangote story now.
Dangote, our uncle.
Yeah, my uncle.
Oh, no, not your uncle. All of our uncle. Trust me. Okay, so what did our uncle say?
Yeah, so they're saying that the refinery, it's going to improve production and move our country from a import dependent country to an export. That with the capacity in which it will be performing, it will be able to supply like all the 100% of all our needs for kerosene, diesel, aviation jets, and still be able to export. And they are also building a fertilizer plant that would provide about 3 million tons of urea. So fantastic for our economy.
Everybody's moving in from petrol. Now we're getting all innovative and anyway,
we're still a very long way from the new electric and clean energy.
The Punch. CMDs, that's medical directors, lament inadequate funding of teaching hospitals. Let me read this quote. We have been surviving through donations from well-meaning Nigerians, alumni and foreign donors. We have 8 million naira monthly statutory allocation as running costs. We may not get this money more than once in 4 months. We pay an average of 13 million monthly to the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company. That's OAUTH CMD speaking. Explosion in Sri Lanka hotels and churches kills at least 207. 4 arrested Boko Haram members arrested in Edo. Policemen decry inequalities in salaries, arrears, payments. UTME candidates will be able to check results with phones, says JAM.
Fantastic.
Let's see. Electricity consumers, workers back move to break Disco's monopoly. Tinubu attacks Saraki and Dogara, says they padded budgets for 4 years. I am a Nigerian by birth, says Atiku. FG's efforts to tackling insecurity grossly inadequate, says Sharia Council. Let's start with the picture story, the Sri Lanka hotels. I mean, yes, you have that story.
So over 207 people have been killed, over 500 of them injured over Easter. Very sad story. Suicide bombers, they say, went in through churches and luxury hotels and just set the place.
8 venues at the same time, almost simultaneously. And it was blown up.
So they have people in hospitals, but they also have, the police also went to do a house raid, and about 3 policemen were killed, but 7 people were arrested. Yes, and
interestingly,
they're hoping, and there was a report actually that
the police chief had warned.
Yes, Agence France had reported that they had seen a document where the police chief had actually sent intelligence that 10 days before this attack happened, that there was going to be an attack on churches during this period. So sad. I mean,
nothing was done to
I don't know if it's nothing that was done or they just could not find out where they were going to do it. You know, and they said it was a small Islamic group that planned to do this.
Really go out with them.
Nobody has really owned up. Usually the terrorists own up, but I don't think anyone has owned up so far, from what we have read here.
Sorry for that. I'll take the CMD story. So I'm very concerned about the health sector, and here we have all the chief medical directors of most of the teaching hospitals being interviewed by a Punch correspondent, speaking up concerning the fact that they are highly underfunded. Also corroborating the story is the Nigerian Medical Association, saying that the president of the Nigerian Medical Association said that we would have less medical tourism if we invest in the medical sector. Most of them complain about that their allocation is 8 million, and what they are spending on a monthly basis is more than that. They are owing power. Another hospital in Jos is spending 18 million, you know. So there are different hospitals with different issues that they are depending only on voluntary donations from people to fund the hospital, which is why you get to the hospital and you need to buy your syringe
yourself.
You buy your syringe yourself, and you buy your gloves yourself. And we cannot close our eyes and pretend it is not happening. Our government, most of our leaders,
we've been talking about the health sector for a long time.
As long as our leaders keep going abroad for every checkup, the average Nigerian cannot afford it.
Health, education, infrastructure, power. These are things that
one of the ways to
so improving salary does not change anything.
Is to even have a ban. You know, put a ban on our legislators. Public officers. Nobody travels out for medical.
Yeah, but we said, as Mariah said, we say it so many times. What are we doing exactly to make sure that this
getting tired of moving on. Let's move on to the Vanguard. Outrage as IDP children feed on onion leaves. Acute hunger can lament the situation in IDP camps. ACF calls for immediate probe. 3rd Mainland Bridge is safe, says federal government. Oshu, the Papa Expressway, federal government is insensitive to our plight. Yes, so says Nima every single morning. 9th Assembly, why I support APC Buhari's position, says Tinubu. 200 killed in Sri Lanka churches and hotels, bombing. I'm a full-blooded Nigerian, article replies Buhari and APC. How low yield high NPL took toll on Tier 1 banks' performance. Okay, let's start with this major headline, the IDP camps.
Yes, so reporters visited the IDP camps just outside the outskirts of Bauchi and found that the children and even the adults were eating onion leaves as a way to survive. There was not enough food in the camps. And the Christian Association of Nigeria and the Arewa Consultative Forum have spoken against it. They are asking that investigations be done to find out what is really happening in the camp. So they sent like a letter to the governor of Bauchi, who has promised to go there and today to make sure that they investigate and see what's really happening.
Unannounced. But
it has to be unannounced. Some of the parents of the children who were interviewed said that the kids are not immunized for over 1 year now, and the rains are about to come in, so diseases are bound to come into the camps as well. I think we should all talk about this and look into what can be done to supply those people. It's unfair that they've lost their houses and now they've
lost their lives.
Okay, so federal government is saying that 3rd Mainland Bridge is safe. You know, there was a video going around town on Facebook saying that the hinges, the joints are actually very slack. But the federal government is saying it's been inspected back in August 2018 and that work is still going to be ongoing with it, but right now it's safe for us to use. So that no alarm is needed to be raised on that. Is there any other story that you would like to take in Atiku. Who are Atiku? He said he's a Nigerian now.
So
Why is APC disturbing this man?
So they're accusing him of being from Cameroon. But you know now, politics.
His father is from Jigawa.
So yes, his father, he says his father, okay, he was born in 1946 in Jeddah, which at that time was part of northern Cameroon.
Right.
But of course, we have heard the amalgamation stories and everything. But he says his father that gave birth to him is from Sokoto State, and his mother is from Jigawa State. So please, he's fully Nigerian.
APC people, you can't find something else to hold on this man. I like to read Mr. and Mrs. once in a while.
Oh, what is this?
Go ahead.
There's something funny.
Wife talking to Mrs. talking to Mr. saying, you always have one excuse or the other. Last week, it was savings for a rainy day. Today, it's watching your savings grow. You are too stingy. Man replies, wife, that's because you are sting whenever you see money.
Hey, whoa.
You sting
whenever you see money.
She's stingy. You sting whenever you see money. Okay, so that was nice.
I never get
Play
their
on
jokes,
words.
you know.
Okay, whatever.
But it's nice.
You know, you're a white woman. You never get
their
Nigerian jokes. Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. Let's see. I am a Nigerian. Okay, we talked about that already. Picture here of female military personnel serving Chief of Air Staff to mark Easter celebration. And talk about raising the issue that why is it only the women that are serving? Can't men serve? That's Nigeria
Men
for
are too big
you.
to serve,
Patriarchal
oh.
society. Oh.
Yes, so women
Reinforced in every way.
serve.
Anyway, let's move on. Easter Sunday tragedy. Police kill man in Ogun. Governors, party chiefs, church leaders raise hope at Easter. They do that every year. UTME results being ratified. CCTV being checked, says JAM. Rising debts. We are mindful of borrowings, Finance Minister. And over 20 people killed in Sri Lanka bombings. Let me talk about this IMF and our finance minister. IMF has been tenomodis oral for a long time. They keep saying tenomoro as in
They keep
repeating
talking.
that saying that this your debt is going overboard. You need to take it easy. And our Minister of Finance keeps telling them the same thing, that we are okay, we are in control, we understand,
How did that
and
work?
we are still within
Okay.
the boundaries of the debt. So we cannot, they actually don't need their advice from the IMF or the World Bank. So I think with this, they can rest this matter because they're constantly telling us the same thing over and over again. I just hope fast forward 5 years, 10 years from now.
They don't come and say,
I told you. Okay, is that another story in
the
Tribune?
sad story of a policeman shooting someone dead. They said this happened in Ifo area of Ogun State. So the PPR has spoken up for the state. Her name is Abimbola Oyeyemi, confirming that the incident indeed took place, but that contrary to the reports going around, which is that it was carried out by SARS, Special Anti-Robbery Squad. This was actually, the shooting took place by, was carried out by a man of the Zonal Intervention Squad in Obada Oko local government under Zone 2, and that they're already investigating it, that they would find out what happens, and the person would not escape judgment, but that people should verify information before spreading it on social media. The shooting by the policeman wasn't by a SARS policeman, but someone else. So modalities, the point is another policeman has shot dead another individual that was not carrying arms, unarmed civilian, and we are going to wait for prosecution. Okay,
I'd like to just get slightly controversial. Can we please go back to the Nigerian Tribune? I'd like to go back to the picture story. I just observed something. If our producers can get us that picture. You know how you go to an event and it's a buffet?
Yeah.
And you're supposed to go and serve yourself. From this picture I am seeing, if you zoom in a bit, a cross-section of Nigerian Air Force personnel during the lunch organized by the Chief of Air Staff to mark Easter celebration. So there's a girl serving this Oga. It's a buffet. Oga's supposed to serve himself, Abi? So she has a tray there for him to... Why don't we understand what the buffet is? That he's supposed to serve himself. Every other person on that line is serving themselves.
But
because it's an Oga...
Okay, so
but the thing is,
since
when
you
we
are
go
doing
for
this...
It's a topic for another day.
Because you are
Is
looking
it
for
the right-
controversy, let me also give you controversy.
Okay.
It is a military situation. You don't question what happens in the military.
Aside from that, when we go for events, I remember when YK had this celebration and where there was a buffet. You served your husband. I served my
served your
husband.
husband.
They were sitting down.
But that's
we
not
went to
his
get
wife.
food.
Okay.
It's
My
supposed,
own is
they are
that
all supposed to stand up and take their food.
It doesn't tell the full story. I'll
Okay.
wait until I get the full story.
Imagine.
I just thought to raise it as a woman, we need to start changing these narratives of we have to serve.
We're not complaining.
You're not complaining, so you can serve.
Serve
Serve your
I
husband.
serve my husband.
I will serve my own husband.
My
I'm just
husband
saying
serves
this-
me,
Which is cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
He serves you.
It depends on the place.
He doesn't even, like, at home, he will get up to the kitchen to get his food.
So
he doesn't like being
sweet.
served. Yeah.
We're talking about buffets.
Where I'm just
outside.
telling you, just normally the way.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good.
Sometimes. Not like, not see, let's put this out there. Before you will think that the man waits for me to come home and say,
What
"Daddy,
do
you
you
love me."
call it? What that thing? No, there's something they call this thing. No, yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, Bewudani.
Okay, like
Yes, yeah, you call it Bewudani husband.
What's that?
What
Check the
Okay,
dictionary.
Oh, God.
Lady son, moving on. I'm just joking. Her husband is not Bewudani, please.
Please,
Because Nigerians
whatever
now,
that means.
Whatever. Her husband is a good man.
yeah, and we want more men like that.
And we want more men that are romantic and serve their husband, their wives. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Sorry. It's Easter Monday. Let us go on a break. When we come back, we discuss the essence of Easter, which is sacrifice and forgiveness. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So on this segment, some meals were sent in over the weekend, and we'll be reading them to you in a bit. But first, we'd like to share our own stories of sacrifice, forgiveness, and bitterness, because this season of Easter, we're reflecting on various issues we've had in our past and see how the same way Christ had forgiven the church, forgiven us of our sins, and he sacrificed, we're also seeing how we can do the same in issues of our lives. I'm not talking about this. I just remember so many stories of the fact that my mom, for example, is somebody that I know that sacrificed quite a bit for her kids. You know, when you grow up in a polygamous family, there's always this issue growing up of attention. Everybody wants your father's attention. Everybody wants to be the favorite, or to be the one that at least has your father's time and all that. And my mom tried to make up for that a lot of time. And I kind of lived through the issues she had in not knowing, in knowing that she didn't have a good relationship with my dad anymore. My dad was, the new wife was the hot kid, new kid on the block, you know. And so she was the one left at home and all that. And she just had to stay because everybody, you know, she's a Lagos babe. Both her parents are from Lagos. So the Lagos, the mentality was like, why are you staying? All her friends, her siblings, everybody close to her had left. They've had first, second, third husbands. Like, auntie, why are you staying in your husband's? What is this? You're wasting your time. But she stayed. Though she wasn't happy, she stayed. Fast forward to when he passed on, she was glad she did. Because the honor came to her. People recognized that, yes, you went through this, and everything that my dad stood for was something she was able to take on, and people really gave her that kind of respect and regard. And so to today, looking back, she appreciates the fact that she stayed, she sacrificed for her children. But when I think about it, I'm wondering, did she feel fulfilled as a person? So that always it makes me think, okay, we need to constantly think as women, as wives, as mothers, we ought to constantly feel that, okay, are we making the right decision? Not just for our children, for ourselves
as well.
You know, and I'll share my other story of bitterness, but I'd like you guys to share your own stories.
Short term, when you think long term, thank God she's alive now to understand the sacrifice and reap the benefits of that sacrifice. But long term, I think I strongly know, seeing your mom, I know she's fulfilled.
Right.
That yes, I'm able to reap this reward. And most of the time in our society now, we're more in terms thinking of what we want to, how am I feeling now? I'm not happy. I want to be happy. I want to be that immediateness. Right. But we're not thinking that, how will I feel 10 years from now if my daughter doesn't have that pride in my mother persevered through being there, you know. So
Let me come to you, Mariam.
Yes, for me, I do, especially my mom. When we talk about sacrifice, I think about my mom, I think about my grandmother. But I'll just give my mom's story. I mean, when my dad died, she was what, 24? So she is a widow with 2 kids, and she was basically left on her own. She was made to choose, you know, for her kids to either go off with the father's family and they will be taken care of, or you take care of them and we have nothing to do with them. And that is what she did. And when I think of the age that she was at the time she made the sacrifices, she said to me, you know, as a nurse, there were opportunities to go abroad. But she thought if she leaves, who will take care of these kids? You know, you are not there to... So she decided to even make less to be able to stay with us day in, day out. I will say I didn't want to talk about it because that woman, I just... Thank you, Mommy. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, and then thank you for forgiving because, you know, my granddad died and she found her way there to go and pay her last respects. Not many people would do that, so thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody who has similar, the family who has similarly abandoned you, and you still found the courage to go and commiserate with them. I mean, I remember this story I'm about to share is really personal to me, and it's something that bothers me a lot, and I really, I mean, this is one which I just hope we can reconcile, because I really miss having a sister. I seriously, it's the most painful part of my life, because I grew up practically by myself. My brothers left when I was like really kid, I was like 2 years old. So they left the country when I was a kid, and I grew up me alone. And I had my half sister and my half brother. And you know, when you grow up as kids, those things, those things are not in your faces. But as you grow up, society tells you that you're not the same mother.
Yeah.
We try to have this connection of, we are siblings, it's us, don't mind them. We did that till we went to in America. We just had each other in the US. Me and my sister, we had just each other. We didn't have anybody else. You know, we were separated a bit. She was in New York, I was in Jersey. But we found a way to connect.
Yeah.
And issues of life happened, and she moved back home. And in Nigeria, we got to Nigeria, and everybody just reminded us that she was not your sister. And after my dad died, everybody just went away.
Oh,
and it's so painful because you feel like, listen, we're a family. I've seen other polygamous families come together. Why is it so difficult for ours to? I mean, it's painful and annoying that you desire this and you see them at parties and they act as if they don't know you. They walk right past you and I'm wondering, kilo leto you for heaven's sake. I mean, what is all this? So these are areas of things that people, society, I mean, and polygamous parents should really, I mean, I was talking to, I hope I have a permission to say this because a big family, I went for their event. Their mom was 70 2 weeks ago, I believe. Another polygamous family. I would not say their name because I don't think I have a permission, but she did share the story. Her mom was 70, and I saw all her half brothers, everybody there, because her mom is like maybe number 4, number 5 wife. The man has other wives, but all the siblings are there, the older ones. And I was like, how did you guys do this? You're all together.
Be together, yeah.
She said, what her father did. Her father never. Everything about the children went through him. So the boys stayed in one flat, the girls in one flat. Everything about their school, their uniforms, their lesson teachers, their car, everything, he handled it. So you don't need to go to your mother for anything. You see, when the child has to go to her mom, she not laments, your father will not give me anything. I don't have money. Your father, you know, that's when they start poisoning your mind about your father. But because everything you need, you go to him, regardless of which. So it's him and you. Not you and your mom. So there's hardly division because he's treating you guys equally. There's drivers for everybody, lesson teacher for everybody, everybody, you know. So he was able to plan it properly such that there was no competition. Everybody had fair.
That resonates with me, Mariah, because I have stepkids, and it's so important for me that my children and their half-siblings have a good relationship. I do not want in future that, you know, you would see your half-sibling and not be able to say, oh, that is... So for what they're doing now, the older ones, they take out time to come and visit them, and I just hope that this continues, you know, through their lives.
I was reading up. There's this book called The Heart of the Soul by Gary Zukav and Linda Francis. It talks about emotional awareness, and then I realized that our minds and our bodies are connected, and so when you have this deep unforgiveness and resentment, it gives you certain illnesses in your body.
Right.
The heart ache, the back ache, the knee ache, and all of that are connected to one or two emotions that we don't leave resolved. And we've had cases of people who had cancer, and at the end of the day, they didn't take drugs. They were just told to forgive the person who had hurt them, who they held on to for so long, and then the cancer left with without any form of treatment. So forgiveness is something we should look into. I came from a background where it was polygamous, and then I grew up seeing my father alone, and all the family members were against him. And so we were raised to be on our own. Right now I go out and I see my cousins and my aunties, and we don't relate, and I feel terrible. I would like to have them around me. I would like to have that bond.
So we in this season of Easter, sacrifice, forgiveness, it would be nice for everybody to just say, okay, that which is causing unforgiveness in my heart, that which is causing bitterness, can we all just come together and resolve?
Let it go.
Because I actually have a very monogamous family. My daddy, my mommy, and I alone. And there was no other extra issue. But I held unforgiveness towards my dad, and he doesn't know about it. I'm sure even if he watches, he's probably getting away for the first time. And he didn't do anything to me. He's a good father, he's doing his job. But I didn't like the way he treated my mom. And I'm sharing this because I know somebody out there as a husband, husband and wife, you feel like I'm punishing my wife, but you are sowing a seed into your daughter or your children. Because all I felt was, I know how hard my mom is working. You shouldn't treat her like this. So in my head, I had taken sides with my mom against my dad. And I know for a fact that they finished their quarrel. But I still remember the things he said. Do you get? So they will resolve their issue, but because they quarreled in front of me, I witnessed it, and I took sides during those quarrels. A lot of us as parents do the same thing without being aware that whatever you're doing, you're sowing seed in your children's life. So it took me going to church and then praying through it that your dad is good. They are together. They are happy. Why are you still feeling?
Adults argue all the time. We have to go on a break, but you see, today's show really is about us sharing our hurts. And we sent this last week, and we have some emails from people who actually shared areas in their lives that they're trying to find hard to forgive. And we're going to bring in a bishop a little bit later to help us shed more light on how we forgive, and the entire season of Easter, how do we use this season to confront these issues and resolve them, and resolve them. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So joining us on the show is His Grace, the Most Reverend Dr. Isaac Ayo Olawi, the Archbishop and Bishop Archdiocese of Lagos Methodist Church, Nigeria. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, sir.
Easter, sir.
All right, so as I said earlier, today we're just sharing stories, and we've actually asked our viewers to send in a few stories, which we'll be sharing with you. Also, you can call into the show to share your own stories too. Stories of bitterness, unforgiveness that you're harboring on right now, and why you find it difficult to forgive. And hopefully, our guests will be able to help us understand how best to deal with these issues. So one of the first mails we got from a viewer says, I was born in a polygamous family. Things were so good for my mom until the rightful owner, so suggesting that there's a first wife, right? Rightful owner decided to come and take her husband. My mom was bitterly treated by my dad and his wife after they fell out. The situation got worse when my mom was pregnant with me, this is a guy, with me, and she was accused of carrying a bastard. Now, fast forward, she delivered after she was abandoned in the hospital for several days without food. Hence, she left my father's house with 2 kids and no job. So this guy and his sister was thrown out. I was given to my grandmother when I was less than a year because my mother claimed she could no longer take care of me. I grew up knowing my grandmother as a mother, and I remember always calling my mom aunt. Now, growing up, my mother became the terror in my life that I became terrified of her anytime she comes around. Difficulties she faced with my dad, on myself and my sister, she said she would look into my eyes, and about 5 months, she would just blame me for everything that happened in her entire life. Now, furthermore, she became a devil to me, and I always wanted to avoid her at all costs. Whenever she comes to visit, my grandmother would beat me, and she would actually beat this little boy. She maltreated him to the extent that he would pray as a child that she would die and that he would never see her again. And he wanted to kill her when he became a teenager. Now, the issue now is he's finding it difficult to forgive his mother because the mother has hurt him for abandoning him. Obviously, his grandmother took care of him for this period. Until now, he's finding it difficult to have that relationship with his mother. a lot of people are in this situation. And I mean, I want to hear your thoughts, Mariam, on this before I come to our guests.
Okay, yes. For me, I think it is even most painful when it's a mother, because you feel that the mother is the one that is your most, the most protective and nurturing of all parents. So to have that sort of relationship, to have defined your relationship, that sort of hurt to define your relationship, I would understand why it would be difficult to move from that to loving and forgiving and forgetting and just having a relationship like nothing ever happened. I wouldn't know how to do that.
I feel that most of the time people will feel good if she comes to apologize, you know. I'm sure he would feel better if she owns up to how she maltreated him. However, you cannot wait until she realizes before you move on and enjoy and live your life. I don't think that, I would say that you should understand that she did it in ignorance. She did it because she was hurting and she was in pain and she was thrown out. She could only just lash out and vent. And when you look at it that way, and I've given this example many times, I always say that I can't beat my little son that is like a 2-year-old for doing something, like maybe he breaks a plate. He's a 2-year-old. What do you expect him to do? To carry a glass cup and he will not fall, you know, when he's trying to walk? I think we should also look at people that do these things that hurt us in that same way. Yes, that she's also going through a lot and she was only doing the best she could. When you look at it that she was doing the best she could with what she had, then you'll find it easy to forgive her based on the quality of information that you already have. You know.
Right, so let me come to our guests. In your thoughts, you heard that story. Yeah. What are your general views on this issue of unforgiveness and how someone like that can move on?
You see, I feel empathy for him and the mother. And it happens everywhere. And it's unfortunate sometimes when it happens, we should understand that that is the way some things happen. Generally, unforgiveness is a serious disease that must be cured. Because if you don't allow forgiveness in your heart, you are doing yourself harm. You are undoing yourself as well. You are killing yourself gradually. You are really destroying your own system. And bodily system, emotional system, mental system, everything together, you know, it will block the grace of God in one's life. Right. And then it continues like that. Right. If I will respond to this situation, I will respond.
Okay.
Okay. Some people have to.
Forgiveness is basically more about you than the person who has hurt you. Because sometimes somebody hurts you and they are not even aware that their actions have hurt you, and then you go on for years carrying that hurt and carrying that pain and killing yourself for somebody who is not even aware that what I did brought this so much harm to you. So forgiveness is what you do to save your own self of the heartache, because at the end of the day, you are, when you don't forgive, when you have resentment in your heart, you are going to be caging yourself. And even the scripture said that forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. As there's a condition. So why most people don't receive enough forgiveness? Because of the measure of forgiveness they give to other people. You understand? So if we can just, it has happened, it has happened. She made that mistake or whatever it is based on the resources available to her at the time.
I've heard people say when they have, especially like the story we've just read, how they'll say, the hurt pushed me to do better. The anger in me made me to want to make sure that I succeed in this life so that she would never, you know, look at me. So some people have used their hurt to build, to build success. And we understand the theory of forgiveness. You heal yourself, but a lot of us see forgiveness as a form of weakness. It means we're not strong enough it's so easy to just let it go and everything passes.
It's not easy to let it go.
I actually believe it's stronger. You're stronger if you can let it go.
We understand it. I'm saying
that's the right view.
You're stronger.
You are stronger. And it is, you see, it's a development onto maturity. You see, if you don't learn to forgive, you can never mature. You can never develop into maturity. And it is the mature people that do forgive.
So everybody can get angry.
Yeah,
everybody can hold unforgiveness. Everybody. You'll be normal if you get angry. You will be unique and special if you are able to let it go. So we shouldn't see it.
Let me move on to the second story, because there's another story that we got. That the unforgiveness is actually in this situation. It's two sisters. It says that 7 years ago I was 35 years old and I had an issue with my sister. She told me that I was too old. I was old enough to be married. I was actually old enough to be married, and I'm shameless to still be living with our parents. I was very hurt and even hated her for it. Now, this year, she'll be 35. Obviously, it was her younger sister that was insulting her. Yeah. So this year, she'll be 35, and she's also not married too. My concern now is that I see myself having a feel of inner joy whenever I see her sad about her unmarried status. That shows, it gives me this soothing effect that, so you thought that you are going to be married. So when you feel that sense of joy,
when somebody is
hurting, is that healthy? I mean, it might come across as healthy for you.
It's natural.
Yeah, which
you know, but should you feel good that somebody is hurting? Somebody who has hurt you is hurting.
You heard me.
It's natural. You know, we say karma, God will catch you. That's
I love the way, I mean, my sister says it, that it is natural. For a natural person, somebody who has mocked you, that you couldn't do certain things, and the same person find himself or herself in the same situation, then you can see yourself now. Can't you see now? So I think that is sometimes it's natural for anyone to behave like that. But when you now begin to discover that you are getting joy in others' sadness, then you are becoming a sadist. And then you have to check yourself that what is happening to me?
Yes.
What is happening to me? So, yeah, and it's still part of that psychological mechanism, one, trying to defend yourself and proving yourself right, and then trying to let others know that it has happened to you too. So I'm no longer alone. We are all together. Sometimes when you have light here and then you don't have, you feel unhappy. But if the light
goes for everybody, all of us are in darkness.
So everybody in darkness. Okay, we are on it. Now. And this is. I believe that is, I cannot say it's demonic.
But it feels like
it feels sometimes.
Right, yeah.
And it can block our sense of right and wrong.
Okay. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'd like you to hear your own stories of issues of unforgiveness, bitterness, and sacrifice. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. I think Chizoba's been holding for a while. Chizoba, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Sorry for keeping you. Go ahead, please.
Okay, when we talk about sacrifice and forgiveness, sometimes in a family, you'll find out that people would take you for granted. For me, I have a soft spot for my mom and my siblings since my dad died. And over time, I have come to realize that they take this soft spot that I have for them for granted. They do all manner of things to me. You send money to them to do something in the family. They will spend the money. The thing will not be done, and they will not account for it. And then I get angry, and then I will not call them, and then I will still be the one to reach out to them again. So you find out that, when they know that you have a soft spot for them, she can't do it without us, they keep doing stuff to you that will aggravate you. So how do you handle this?
Yeah, when they're continually hurting you.
You want him to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So forgiveness, I believe, is a process. It's not what comes very easily and immediately. It takes a process for everybody. No matter, you have not been hurt. If you have been hurt, it takes a process. Sometimes you think you're forgiven, but then that issue comes up again and you can feel the same energy. I was talking to somebody recently and we're having a conversation. She was narrating to me what somebody did to her down the line. When she was narrating, I could feel like I was there. I felt that energy. And I had to ask, please, when did this happen? That was like 3 years back. And I could still feel that energy. But in her mind, she felt she had forgiven. So a lot of people are afraid to forgive sometimes because they think when they forgive you, that means we can come very close again and be doing the same things we were doing before. But you can forgive and then you know that this person has hurt you before. Then you create your boundaries. So it's all about knowing what you want.
Go ahead, sir.
The case of this woman, if I could hear her very well, it's like when you are so somehow soft, when you don't really take action against people doing something wrong.
Take advantage.
Oh, they continue to take advantage of you. And I think there is, you see, we must be able to differentiate between forgiveness and correcting what is wrong. You know, you cannot say because you want to forgive people when you have to tell them that what they have done is wrong. Let them know. Prove it to them. Let them understand that you can no longer take it.
Right. Okay.
But that does not stop you from forgiving them.
Let me take this call, then I'll come to our third story. Thanks for calling. Are you there?
Yeah,
Chooks, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Good morning. My full name is Isoponaya Chuku, a.k.a. God Made Manifest.
Okay.
So I'd like to address some issues here. The first one is unforgiveness. Actually, when I was growing up, I never had issues with unforgiveness, so I don't know anything about unforgiveness. Then secondly, sacrifice. I think sacrifice is commitment to the work of God. And thirdly, Tucker was saying something about fulfillment. I think fulfillment is when somebody has been able to settle his path in life. This is my own path in life. Then fulfillment will become a thing of the lifestyle. Then the last subject matter is, I think you talked about devil. I think for me, devil is three things: bad behavior, bad character, and bad habits. That's my submission.
Thank you, Chooks. Very nice.
Straight to the point.
Let me take this third story, which I think a lot of women can relate to. So I will read the story carefully, and Bishop, I would like you to listen carefully.
I will try.
Okay. I caught my husband now. This is somebody calling. I won't mention her name. But according to she said, she caught her husband with her best friend in bed 5 years into catching them red-handed. A friend of hers called her aside and told her that she suspects that those two are seeing each other. She fought it down and even blocked her communication and said that it is you that wants to cause problem in her own marriage. Anyway, apparently, her husband and this person slept together a night before their wedding. And on her wedding day, this so-called best friend of hers was her best lady. The whole family on both sides came together to try and settle this matter. But the man in question, which is her husband, wasn't remorseful. This friend also, too, did not even make any step to reconcile or talk to her. She was shattered. And thank God for her parents, according to her, they stood by her. There and then, she found out that he was a serial cheat.
Ew.
And he kept sleeping with other people, and even her own maid that she had at the time. So she summoned courage and moved out with her son. Fast forward to 6 years later, after she has gotten herself a big shop, selling wholesale wine, doing very well, her husband now comes and reappears and starts begging for forgiveness. He seems to be begging the whole world to come and beg her. And she said she's not been shaken, and even she cannot bring herself to forgive him at all. And she has not been able to forgive and forget what happened. So she's asking us, and she's getting pressure from all over, all sides, to take this man back. A man that has slept with her friend for 5 years, even on her wedding night, her maid, and several other people. I'm coming to you, Bishop.
Please.
Because we don't have the power to discuss these issues as women. If this woman was your daughter, if it was your daughter that you gave birth to, your biological picking,
Blood.
what would you advise her to do in this situation? Should she take this man back because she's forgiving him?
If you say matter has never happened under the sun,
Nothing is new under the sun.
nothing is new. There's nothing that has never happened
Before.
before. And so, let's take we are talking about sacrifice and forgiveness, especially first on the part of our Lord Jesus Christ. People knew exactly what they did against Jesus Christ. How they just molested him, accused him of all falsehood and lies against him, up to the point that they haul all the punishment in this world onto Jesus Christ. And at the end of the day, when he was on the cross, the first statement Jesus Christ will utter is, Father, forgive them, because they do not know what they are doing.
How about those that know?
In other words.
Now, it may be very hard. Let me say this thing. Forgiveness is not easy. It's always divine.
Thank you, sir.
Forgiveness is divine. Except through the grace and the Spirit of God, you cannot totally forgive. It requires God's Spirit in our hearts.
But when God's Spirit is in your heart...
And then if you don't have God's Spirit to be able to forgive, you are in danger too. You are in danger of going against God. You are in danger of hell. If you believe in hell, or if you don't believe in hell, you are in danger of hell. And at the same time, you endanger your own life. Let me.
Okay, you have not said yes.
Now,
No,
let
no.
me say this.
Just going around.
Let me say this.
Yes.
If she had actually married him,
Yes.
and she agreed to, because I will ask her, my daughter, you are willing to marry this one? He said, yes. Are you sure? Yes. Now, after they have married,
Carry your cross.
Of course, everybody has to carry his or her cross. So if such a thing happened and you have a child, a son, for that man, because at the point when the man was doing all that he is doing, or he was doing, rather please, that he was doing when something somehow went wrong in his life.
Okay.
And now that he has come to his senses, if at all. This thing is very hard.
Wait, I have a call from Shola. Okay. Please. Shola, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Hello, Murayo, how are you?
Yes, sir. Very well, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I would like to share something with our pastor on the couch.
Yes, go ahead.
So what would I do if somebody offended me? If I'm not within the person, I don't care. But as soon as I see that person, I recall and it trigger what he has done to me. And I'm always like, I want to revenge. And I have this mind of forgive that person. But I really want to forgive the person, to be honest with you. But the moment I saw the person, something else, override that. What I thought when the person wasn't around me.
It happens to everyone. Let me tell you the truth. We are all human. And it happens to us many a times. But what I do, I go on my knees and I say, God, I've forgiven this man. And I pray for your grace to forgive him totally. And in any moment I see him, I'll be happy. And I will not be hurt anymore, because I've gone on my knees and I've confessed, God, I forgive, I have forgiven him.
Okay, all right.
See, let's flip the
Back
story.
to that.
Yes, let's flip this story. Because I know someone who, she was working in a bank before they got married, and she was in a relationship with her boss. But her boss is already married, and then she now got married legitimately and had 3 kids.
The boss?
No, she got married to another young man, and a few years down the line, they have been married for 11 years. She confessed that the 3 kids they have belongs to her boss.
Yes.
And she had been having that relationship before she met this husband. And the 3 children, and this man thought, I have 3 children, you know, paid for them to go and be giving birth to in the US. So when we flip the situation, because it's easy, it's easy for the society to tell the woman to forgive, accept
so
you have a child.
If that is your son,
when we flip the situation,
but let me tell you, that's your son.
There are some things which you don't take.
Hey, Bishop!
No, forgiveness.
The script on us.
Let me tell you.
Bishop.
Forgiveness, yes.
Yes.
But you know, certain things are there that which you know and is scriptural. That not that you cannot forgive, but you cannot take. That you cannot take.
Okay. So is
now, if the woman say that she has children for you, and you discover that the children
are not for you,
are not for you, no problem. Let her go with the children to the person who. Yes, how can you take the children?
You know, you said something
yours?
earlier. You said when the person was behaving a certain way, there was something that was covering his eyes. I'm wondering if something was covering her eyes at that time.
Each case on its merit. You have to be very, very, very.
So let me deal with
realistic.
You wanted to say that the woman in question, because she has a son, should accept the man.
If you allow me to land, I would tell you the reason.
Please land,
Please land.
Because once you have that son and it's
what of a daughter?
Whether daughter or a child.
Okay.
And agreed. Later, and if she doesn't want to marry to another person, and you don't want to have a child that you cannot be proud of, that, oh, this is my the father of my son or the father of my daughter. So at the end of the day, if this man is genuine in his heart that he has changed or he has repented.
He has repented.
He kept saying he had repented before now.
It wasn't.
No.
Sir.
So sincerely speaking, because except if the man has not really shown genuine repentance. But if he has shown it and the family had begged her, I think the best for the woman
is to forgive him.
If it is on the matter of he slept with this or he slept.
Okay, so let's go to the issue that we talked about now, that the man has found out that all his 3 children don't belong to him.
Why can't he forgive?
Now, shouldn't he forgive her?
If you forgive that person, that does not make the children to become yours, and you cannot claim what is.
But do you realize that?
You can forgive her. Would you go and meet the owner of the children?
Would you argue with this narrative though, that these children are people? Being a child doesn't have to be biological. That you've raised these kids from the day they were born up until the fact that they're grown. These kids are actually yours.
Yes.
Yes, they don't know their biological father, but you raised them, you treated them, you cared for them since birth. So shouldn't you be a responsible man?
And just take care of them.
They are not mine biologically.
But the other man knows that the children are the boss.
Okay.
The boss. Is he aware that the children are his?
No, but whether he's aware or
not, that is...
Whether he's aware or not.
Even if he's aware, shouldn't you fight for your children? Because they're not your biological, but you took care of them all your life. Don't you think it's right for you to fight for them?
Because I'm telling you, it's very hard. That's why I say you take certain things, you don't take certain things. You may forgive, but the children may not be yours.
Let me take Femi. Femi, I'll come to you there. Femi, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Morayo.
Morning, sir.
Happy Easter to you.
Happy Easter to you, sir.
I am diametrically opposed to the bishop.
Diametrically, okay.
That woman should not go back to that man.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Let me tell you, if she has suffered singly from that man, she's now going to have double portion. The man wants to come back because of her money. A leopard is always a leopard. Whether black or white, a leopard, the man will not leave her attitude. I mean, his attitude.
Yeah, he's like to continue. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's entitled to your views. Thank you very much, Femi.
But she can forgive, but she may not go back to the man.
Okay.
Well, that's another view.
Okay, all right. Yes,
I feel that because of our society, you know, certain things we let it go when it's the man who is the perpetrator. We just feel, okay.
The man brings the child from outside.
You need to stay. You are the woman. You need to forgive. You need to let it go. You are forgiving. You need to accept him so that the children will have the father figure and all of that. And then when it happens the other way, we are easy to say, send her away, send the children away. She's a woman. She's not supposed to have done that. I think we should find a way to balance it, whether it's a man or it's a woman. Anybody who has done something, and if you want to forgive and accept back, it's okay. If you want to forgive and you don't want to accept back, it's also okay. Let's not make it gender-based, because most of the time, even when you go to churches to report certain cases, they say, hey, you know, you are the woman now. You are the one to keep a home. Just stay there. And then it's as if it's unfair to the women.
Exactly. Thank you for
I have some tweets. Niger Women says, forgiveness does not mean stupidity. That woman can forgive without taking the man back as her husband. Prince Ajibade says, you don't have to rebuild a relationship with everyone you've forgiven. Just because you are at peace doesn't mean you aren't still, that you aren't still toxic.
Raid Commander says, forgiveness has nothing to do with children. No matter how that guy forgives the woman, the fact remains that the children are not his. I forgive the woman, but take the kids away and let me have my own kids with her or any other woman. Sean Louis says, forgiving and trust are two different things. If you cheat me, I will forgive you, but I won't do business with you again.
I have to go on a break, but the children didn't ask to come to this world. They're not part of this issue. It's not their fault. So why would you throw them out? I don't know. I have a problem with that, but let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll take more phone calls and tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Oh my Lord. Okay, so we have to coast because the show is about to end. But the bishop was actually interested in what happens to the kids, because the truth is that they didn't ask to come to this world.
At all.
So your mistakes they shouldn't pay for your mistakes, either from the man's side or the woman's side. So in putting them in view now, yes, the mother is saying, oh, the children, the three children I have don't belong to you. And on the other side, the man is saying, what was the other story? The man...
The boss.
The man has cheated with everyone and still wants to come back.
If such a discovery is made at the late years of the couple, and then they now discover that the children does not really, or the children do not come, or they are not the biological children of the husband, I think reconsidering the position and the psychological effects on the children is better if both of them, on the part of the husband, he must develop a very large mind. Because his own reputation is at stake.
Yes.
The reputation of the family is at stake. Life and reputation of the children is at stake as well. So both of them should know that this mistake had happened. Because if they escalate the issue or expose themselves, it's going to get worse. Right. So the man must develop a very large heart to accommodate both the children and the wife, and just accept the fate.
Okay.
Funny. There are many...
Otherwise, it's go from worse to worse.
All right, Andrew says, I am not happy the way the bishop is judging this. A man who sleeps with a housemaid, sleep with a bridesmaid before the wedding. The man is a dog. Yes, forgive, but no trust. Rosalind says, the Bible makes it clear that adultery is a ground for divorce. She can forgive, but she doesn't need to go back. Deca Delicious says, please let the man forgive her, and the woman should take the kids to their rightful father.
Right.
If it will be more painful if the kids have to run this on the man later, if they find out later.
Yes.
Favor Ibuba says, forgiveness doesn't mean you should totally trust again. You can forgive a cheating partner and then move on with your life, because if you accept again, you'll have trust issues in that marriage. Oluwatosi says, you can't even forget. 90% of cases that have been forgiven will never be forgotten. Different people just treat unforgotten offenses differently. Okay. I feel strongly that the situations will differ and how we will relate to it will differ. Even in the case of this one with the children, you might have to say, would you start paying school fees when you know that there's another father, and wouldn't you want to have your own biological children? There are many ways to deal with it, but if you come from a place of love genuinely would give sacrifices, love genuinely will forgive. And I believe that anybody that is struggling with unforgiveness to anybody should just keep repeating, I choose to forgive, I let go. I choose to forgive,
we have to
I
round
let
up.
go.
So let me let our bishop say, because I think Tokwe just used the word that we haven't used since morning, love. Love is so key, because it's the entire heart of what Christ did for Easter, because he loved. He loved and gave his son to die for our sins. So in this issue, I want you to just round up for us in this issue of forgiveness and sacrifice.
Thank you very much. Yes. I think as human, we are subject to making mistakes. As human. We are all human. We can run into error. We can offend one another. Some people will do certain things and later realize they have done wrong. Okay. Regrettably, I mean, feeling so bad that they had done the evil they had done. And sometimes that is why God himself has given a chance for forgiveness. I want to say that it's better we forgive ahead. If you are a husband, forgive your wife ahead. If you are a wife, forgive your husband ahead. Because there is no way
they won't hurt you.
We will hurt each other. And there'll be a way we will offend each other or one another. So life is just like that. But if we have love, deep love, it accommodates and forgives all. Fantastic. Bible says, love covereth all sins.
Tokwe, I forgive you ahead.
I think
Miriam, I forgive you ahead.
Mariah, don't forgive me, please.
I forgive you.
Don't forgive me.
Yeah, I love you up front to cover everything.
But I think what Bishop said is really key. Think of everything your spouse can do to you. Think of all the options and begin to forgive him or her.
How about mother?
Mother. Yes, think of your mother and forgive them.
We are all human beings.
We're all human beings.
We are all human beings.
If she didn't exist, you won't be alive.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for coming to share your views on this show.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we'll bring you back again at some time.
Thank you.
At some point.
Thank you.
That's all we can take on today's show. Have a fabulous day. Happy Easter again, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.